everybody, I'm Leigh, and I'm going to be talking today a little bit about ADHD and autism. Weird, lonely, sensitive, hyper, difficult, attention seeking. These are some of the things I've been labelled as throughout my life, some by professionals and some by the ones who know me better than that. I was always labelled as a difficult child, the weird one, and I always thought there was something wrong with me, and I always felt different to everybody else. It wasn't until I grew up that I realised there wasn't anything wrong with me. I wasn't a difficult child, I wasn't the weird child, I was the autistic one. Once I found out I was autistic, my whole perception of myself changed. The things that I'd struggled with my whole life suddenly made sense. The overstimulation, the way I viewed things, the way I interacted with people, it all made sense. However, after multiple professionals having told me I fit the criteria for autism, I'm still yet to receive my official diagnosis. I spent years on waiting lists, gathering evidence to take to them. When I moved out of my hometown very recently, I was informed I had to start the process again because the area that I've moved to is under a different district. I feel stuck in an endless cycle of referrals, meetings and evidence gathering, all for one thing: professional validation, all for a label. I was misdiagnosed with EUPD, which is emotionally unstable personality disorder, for people who don't know, when I was 18, and I always knew that that didn't feel right. There were some aspects of the criteria I did agree with, and given my childhood trauma, it made sense for a very long time, but I just knew there had to be something else. That's when I found out what ADHD in women looked like, and especially as an older woman. That's when the penny dropped. Now, at nearly 23 years old, I'm fighting for my diagnoses so I can get the support I need. I know I cannot cope in a university setting without specific support, which I cannot receive without these diagnoses, without the official labels. So I'd like to explain to you all how you can get about accessing these, because as we all know, ADHD and autism waiting lists in the UK are long and gruelling and very difficult to get on. And the younger you are, the easier it is to get your diagnosis. However, a late diagnosis does not exclude you from this support. If you do feel you may have autism or ADHD, the first port of call is to speak to your doctor. They can put in referrals. There is also a service called Right to Choose, and it's a private service run through the NHS. I know at the moment they're taking just a short break from referrals, but they do look like they're going to be opening referrals again, and that is a lot quicker way to get on the waiting list. The assessment process can be stressful and daunting, so make sure you've got a good support network around you. They may ask for evidence from your childhood, which I know some of us might struggle with. Something I did was contacting all my old schools, getting reports, notes, anything that they had on file, and luckily I accessed my records, so I had a lot of information because I don't have somebody in my life that has known me since I was born. That's just something I don't have. This has been a long fight, and I know I have further to go, but it's a fight I'm willing to go through. Knowing I'm autistic has changed the way I see myself. I may have been labelled as the weird kid, the sensitive kid, or even the difficult kid, but I know those labels came from a place of misunderstanding. I may be the autistic kid, but I will always be proud of who I am. It sounds very cheesy, but we're all told that autism is a disability, but I don't see it as that. It's a different ability. And if there's anything that I want you to take away from this little talk, it's to be proud of who you are, and don't let those labels define you. I may be autistic, but I am proud to be autistic.